Hello, good morning. What's up? Today is a weekend and I'm going to continue my series of presentations on different concepts related to research and publications. This is aimed for my subscribers who are young students and aspiring to become research scholars, or young research scholars who have just taken admission, who are new into our business of publication and research. So the concept that I want to talk today first is about impact factors. So let us see what is impact factor. Here I have already opened Googled and opened the site for you. The impact factor is a measure of the frequency with which the average article in a journal has been cited in a particular year. It is used as a measure. It is used to measure the importance or rank of a journal by calculating the times its articles are cited. So this is the technical definition. So roughly what we can understand when I tell you that the impact factor of a journal is 1, let us say. So then you have to see that there are two impact factors generally. One is an yearly, another is a 5-yearly impact factor. So every journal has a certain number of articles published in each volume, and yearly there are several volumes. So in a given year many articles get published in a particular journal, and now if a work is important in a particular field, it is expected that other people will be referring it in that work. So how frequently that work has been referred by others. Now this is something a very accepted generally in a theoretical, generally in applied sciences, especially in medical fields like medical sciences and engineering. Works have very high impact in the sense that if something has a breakthrough has been made in some field of medicine or technology, then it immediately catches attraction and a lot of people refer to that work. So in such sciences, the impact factor of good works tend to be much higher than something like in pure math or in probability theory or in theory and methods in statistics. Of course, this is a very general comment. So like in mathematics, if you are in theory, and it also differs widely. Means in some applied mathematics like fluid dynamics and cryptography, they can publish in they can get published in journals which have relatively higher impact factor, whereas someone doing very deeply theoretical kind of work, let us say in probability, who is doing martingales, or in extreme value theory and not doing applications, the random matrices. In statistics, suppose I am working on multivariate theory of some proving weak limits, proving the convergence, so which may be of interest to a more restricted group of people. Those kind of works will have generally take time to get to get cited by others. So generally, as a rule of thumb, in pure math, if you are pure math, theoretical probability theory, statistics theory and method, if you are publishing in journal with impact factor up to 1, above 0.5, then it's very good. And in applied sciences, the same number would be more than 1. And or applied math, if 1 above 2, then that's very good. But very few journals actually in mathematics have impact factor above 2. So we can just check one of the top-notch journals in statistics, for example. Let me add here Annals of Statistics. Annals of Statistics impact factor. So Annals of Statistics is like a good, now it has gone up 7.5, and it's very difficult to publish here. So let us see, like Annals of Mathematics, impact factor, that's 5.24. But these are like kind of journals where to be honest, I have never been able to publish anything in Annals of Statistics. Mm, but these are kind of outlets where, you know, if you can publish one, it will be more than enough to produce one PhD. So these are very now if we look somewhat more should I say mediocre? No, I should not use the word mediocre. So some journals which are more likely to accept where your work is more likely to get accepted. Let us say JSPI, Journal of Statistical Planning and Inference, Journal on JOURNAL, Journal of Statistical Planning, Statistical Planning and Inference, impact factor. Here you see 0.173, not even 1, but this is a very respectable journal in statistics. They specially publish works on theory and methods, not so much on data. You cannot expect your work to get published by doing some kind of data analysis, reporting some data, or doing some survey in JSPI. There has to be some theory and method innovation. Okay, then there is a very respectable journal called Extremes in Probability Theory. Extremes, impact factor. Now this is the okay one here, as I said, here it is the 5-year impact factor. There are 2 impact factors, as I said. So let us look at what is the yearly impact factors. Extreme, here we will find, here you can see it's a Springer journal. The publisher is Springer, so 1.633, that has improved. Now this is a very respectable journal. I mean, if you are having publication in extremes, then in probability theory, this is nothing like it. You can see 1.4 is the 2020 and 1.63 is the 5-yearly impact factor. Okay. So in this way, roughly, if you are doing research in theory and methods in statistics or mathematics or fields such as maybe theoretical physics, I don't know, I should not be commenting on that. So the works that involve theory and maths mainly, so there if you are publishing anywhere close to 0.7 to 1.5 in this broad range, then it's good enough. It's a good enough work. Even if let's say there is a journal called Communications in Statistics. Communication, it's not such a frontline communications in statistics. They have several volumes in statistics. You have theory and methods. Let's look at theory and methods. Impact factor. Impact factor. 0.3. So you see clearly this is a journal which in terms of impact is not such a frontline journal. But nevertheless, it has an impact factor. It is very important that when you are choosing an outlet journal, it should have an impact factor. And nowadays, many of these predatory journals have become very clever. They dubiously compute their own impact factor. Okay. So we have to go for the SCI journal, Science Citation Journals or Science Citation Expanded. The way to search is to go to this website, right? Web of Science. So here you can see the Web of Science group. So Science Citation Index is published by the Web of Science, and here you can just search your journal. So suppose I have published something recently in Metrica, so you can see whether it is there. It is mentioning that Science Citation Index Expanded. It is there. And it is the publisher is, I was saying producer, that's wrong. Publisher is Springer Verlag. Okay, so you can now search about this. You can visit, and then you can search it in the. And I can tell you those journals which are there in the Science Citation Index, no, they are there in UGC CARE list, CARE Group 1 list. that we had discussed in the if you have not seen that, please go and look at the UGC care list video. You will understand what I am talking. And so this is a good way of looking when you have decided a journal. Maybe your supervisor or your colleagues, like fellow researchers, have suggested something, or you have found it out. Please do check here. Okay, so then it's a like double check, and then we can easily find okay, it was open for me, and then you can just find it out about the Metrica. I think we've done this, right? Impact factor. It is impact score is 1 point. So impact score is there, impact factor is there. We will have to go and check in the website itself, Springer, right? So slightly above 120, which is very good, and 5 year is 1.350. So the concept of impact factor remains same. So usually here it is looking at annually, 1 yearly impact, and it is 5 yearly impact. Okay, I hope it gives you an idea what the impact factor is all about. And here is an article that you can here is the what should I say, URL of the article. Copy, I am pasting it for here so that you can see. Okay, this is the one. So this is a nice article. It says what impact factor is. So here this portion of the paragraph, someone has written a paper on the importance of impact factor. So this is a kind of work in theory and research methodology. If the impact factor of a journal is not associated to factors like quality of peer review process and quality of content. So this is important. Sometimes people also brag too much about impact factor. So just because a journal has a high impact factor does not mean that a journal has a far superior quality the peer reviewing process. So as I said that because certain fields attract more citations because they have relatively shorter lives, in the sense that if I make an innovation in medicine, certain variation of a drug that may create research importance for a year or two, but soon in future years it may fizzle out. So generally applied research has higher impact factor. So this should be, but it is a measure that reflects the average number of citations of the article published in journals, books, thesis, project reports, etc., etc. Okay, so it is a average number of citations, and that if you say Metrica has a impact factor of more than 1, means more than once on an average in a year the articles published in Metrica get cited in other places like this mentioned here. So but nevertheless this is an important and well respected measure of a measure of genuineness of a journal. I don't know whether genuineness is the correct word or not, but we should pay attention to it. That's it. And now I will, okay, I am running out of time. I think that should be enough for today. So this is all about the impact factor. Please do check the other videos also.